Hi and welcome to another video. I'm Lauren and today I'm going to be creating a gratitude themed junk journal. This is the journal and I'm going to go into details about how I made it and a couple of first pages. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get started. So here we have the journal. This journal I created a couple of months ago. It was actually right around the time that I was moving when I had to go through all of my stuff, and I found that I had all these DVDs that I needed to kind of do something with, but I thought that the boxes of the DVDs, which were these cardboard kind of boxes, would be really useful as part of a journal. So what I did was I stuck the DVD covers together and it made it kind of like accordion type of looking book, and this is kind of how it worked. I glued them with some really strong glue, and then I used some tape to tape all of the boxes together, and I painted over that tape with the green and just used some washi tape on the edges. And then I created a cover for the journal using some scrap pieces of paper that I had. And my plan is today to start filling in some parts inside the journal. So my first thought was to create some pages inside the journal that I could kind of stick things onto and attach things to, bits of old junk and other things lying around. So I found that I had these old notebooks that didn't have the covers anymore, and some of them have marks on them and they're kind of just old and like discarded. So I decided these would be kind of cool to create the pages within the journal, and they would stick quite nicely to the covers of the DVDs. So I decided that I wanted to use as much of these notebooks as possible. So I measured out the bottom part and created, like, I think my journal is about A5 size roughly. So that would be one part. And then I did that with all of the other notebooks. So this is my first time creating a junk journal, so it was very much an experimentation, and I definitely have a lot of odds and ends lying around that are kind of just taking up space, and I'm really excited to use them in this journal. So the theme is going to be gratitude, because I really find that every day there is always something to be grateful for. I really like the idea of writing down things that I'm grateful for and just being able to look back at it. And I think it's just a really nice, positive way of approaching life. And just, there is really always something in every day, even if it seems like there isn't. There's always even just some little moments that you can be grateful for. So I'm really excited to make this gratitude journal. At the top, I decided that half of the journal, some pages would be this A5 size, and then because the notebook had that little part at the top, I thought I can still use that little part inside as well, and some of my pages will just be like half like this. But I think that's kind of interesting, because maybe then in the space below it I could still attach or make some other little like things, like an envelope to put things in, or store little bits and bobs. So yeah, I'm just kind of cutting up all of these pages, and then we will attach them into the journal, which this whole part took quite a long time for me to do, because I had to do it for like the whole journal. So I'm not gonna let you see all of that. We'll just cut right into the next part so that we can move swiftly along and keep creating this journal. So here's the first bits that are cut. I have the A5 size, and then I have the little top part, and then I will work off camera on the rest of them. But now I'm going to try and attach the first one into the book. So that is kind of what I thought, is that it will place quite nicely, and then I will glue one page to the front cover and then the back page to the back part of the DVD cover. And just using regular glue for this, so hopefully it holds. Sometimes it's always better with these craft projects to kind of use a stronger glue, but I must say that this Pritt glue is really pretty strong. I was quite impressed how well it holds. One thing I remember always when I was a kid making a lot of school projects was, we had to make so many back in the day, and I just remember I really learned how to glue back then. You have to put the glue on all of the corners and edges because otherwise the thing will not stick. So I remember that was just one little tip I learned back then, was just really how to glue. I'm not too worried about all of the kind of bumps and stuff, because I'm going to be sticking other bits of junk and rubbish and extra papers on top of those, so it doesn't really matter if it's kind of messy. I'm not too concerned because it will be covered. Now that is all stuck in, and that's kind of how it looks. I think that works pretty nicely. And then I use some of the extra bits of the journal pages to cover the next part of the next DVD covers, because this is where the little booklet will go and it will kind of stick. So I just wanted to make sure that there was that you couldn't see the words of the DVD box, because it had all the pictures of movies and stuff and the logo, and I didn't really want that to be visible. So I'm sticking down this little journal book inside this DVD. Okay, so this is hours and hours and hours, and maybe the next day actually, but I've now stuck all of these extra journal pages inside of the junk journal, and it looks pretty cool. I think there's lots of interesting space to create things on and to stick and glue other things onto. So yeah, this is kind of how it turned out. A couple of the pages are a bit randomly stuck, like that one, a bit messy, but like I said, it's okay. This is going to be covered, so I'm not too concerned. So let's get started on the first pages. For my first pages, I'm opening on this section of the journal, which is a space that I couldn't fit any pages into here, so it's just an open page. So I am going to paint it using some gouache color. I chose this bright yellow because whenever I think of gratitude, I don't know, I do always relate yellow to being a very joyful and happy color, so I thought that would be really nice inside on this page. And also right now there's so many of the dandelion flowers all around the garden, so it's kind of really yellow is this color I'm seeing everywhere around, so it's really inspired to create this as the first page background. And then I am also going to take a bit of orange and add that orange gouache to this side and sort of blend the two colors together. So now that the background is done, I have rumbled through all the junk that I have, and I found these I think they come from some clothes that I bought, and these are the labels, and I remember I kept it because I thought, oh, this cardboard is really nice quality, so I just thought, oh, I can use this for something along the line. So I found these, and I'm going to glue these onto the pages. I kind of like that it's got these circles in and that they're a bit torn at the edge, because it kind of just adds this interesting little vibe to the page. So I'm attaching these, and then we'll move on to the next step. So I looked through all of the washi tapes that I have, and I found this one, which is black with this kind of golden diamond on it. So I thought that would go nicely with the yellow and orange kind of theme. So I'm attaching that, just kind of like putting it wherever felt good, just there and here and there and a little bit of everywhere. So that was the washi tape. I sometimes use washi tape in my art journaling, but not as often as I could, I guess. So I thought it would be nice to use a bit in this junk journal, and it will help to kind of like stick things down and just add a bit of like the washi tapes always have these really beautiful patterns on them, so just some nice like pops of detail and color, and to break up like the bits of cardboard and stuff. For this next part, I used some purple Posca markers and a yellow Posca marker to create some little flowers as decoration, and then this black marker to add a black border. And I also used this to create the writing which says celebrate every day, because I think that is one of the key things to just, or what I've found in my life, is that it really just helps to find that joy every day in the small little simple moments, and to remember that every day is a day to be grateful for. And it's really helped me on my journey to keep a very positive mindset. So this was the phrase that I wanted to kind of make very visible on these pages, was to remind myself to celebrate every day, because it is a gift. Life is a beautiful gift. While I was trying to think what else to add to these pages, I was going through the rest of my pile of junk, and I found this old page, which is something that I used. Obviously, I think it's wrapping paper, and then it's a heart that I painted, and it's on the back of a notebook, and it's just kind of like this torn cover. So I thought this would be cool to stick on a different page, so I glued that in as well. So I added a couple of extra bits left over from the page that you just saw onto this page, and then I added some washi tape, and finally used a Posca marker in blue to just add some little dots and squiggles to add a little bit of extra detailing to these pages. Onto the next pages, I found this black bit of paper in the stash and added that in, and I found these old photographs that were printed from a trip that I did to the Netherlands. I visited Amsterdam, and this is one of the photos I took there. It's one of my favorite photos, so I was like happy to find it, because I was like, oh, this would be cool to add in. So I am gluing this black piece of random paper onto this page, and then I will glue the photographs onto this and create kind of a different sort of page. This is right at the front of the journal, so it's right as you open the gratitude junk journal. These will be the first pages. It's been quite a while since I've actually traveled anywhere, due to like the last couple of years of, obviously it's been kind of difficult. So it was really nice to kind of think about being really grateful for all the traveling that I have been able to do in the past. And when I was creating these pages and thinking about this trip in particular, as well as some other trips to other really cool places in the world, it was just making me feel really grateful for having been able to have those experiences of travel and seeing different places. And I'm excited for some more travel opportunities in the future. So since orange is a color that's really linked to the Netherlands, I added, luckily found this random also piece of old box from something or the other and added it to the page, and there was this cool little square hole, so that was like a nice interesting shape. And then I wanted to add onto here some writing, so I stuck some white pieces of paper and then I wrote grateful for, just went over that, made the letters a little bit more visible. So I wrote grateful for travel experiences, which is a really nice first page to open to just every time I open this book, I'll probably be like, oh wow, I remember that really, really cool time, and just thinking back and enjoying reliving a lot of those cool moments. This will be a really nice way to open this journal. So that brings us to the end of this junk journal creation video with this gratitude theme. These pages are what I created in this video, and I hope you enjoyed seeing this process and maybe got some ideas for yourself and some ideas of how to use some of the junk that's laying around. I think these junk journals can be a really great way of kind of using up all of that stuff and kind of putting it somewhere and giving it a purpose, repurposing things. And I'm excited to add more to this journal in the future. There's a lot of pages, so maybe I'll film some of that. Thanks for joining me here, and please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon for another video.